is not safe for work. Good morning, everybody out there. I do too. It's Tetris. Go ahead and like us on Facebook if, as soon as you heard this, you started moving your up, down, left, right, and arrow keys. I know you did. Oh, come on, BT.
BT, work with us, BT. Work with us. We're dying.
BT's like, no, I like this song. Oh, happy Monday to you all out there.
Yay! It is Monday. It is.
Yay!
Joe, Mr. Joe.
We need you. Joseph.
Let me know. Do I need to build you a lean-to? Because if I need to, then I will build you one. It's simple. It's easy. I can do it. It's not an issue. Just let me know, and I will try to find a place near ours that is flat enough that I can build one. Anybody want to know what the hell I'm talking about? You got to join Salem.
Just do not build him.
Open beta.
Do not build him under my tree. And if I come in there and find out any one of you cut down my tree, I will turn on tracking and find you.
I'm going to go cut down that tree.
Ginger!
What?
You know I like that tree.
You do. All right, I'll build you like a patio around the tree.
I was building a patio around the tree. As soon as I'm able, I'm going to make a table.
Oh.
And a little bench, and that's where I'm going to do my little crafting. You know what? Aww. I figured out about the trees in Salem.
Uh-huh.
It's a really good place to hide and ambush somebody. Somebody's going to get ambushed. I'm sorry. You know, you kind of blend in with the shadows if you catch it during the right time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because I lost myself one day under the tree. I got up and walked away and came back. I was like, where was I? Oh, my God. I'm still logged in, right? And then when I moved, I was like, oh, shadows are nice.
They are nice. They're very nice. They're very nice. Mm-hmm. All right, there we go. I got all my Twitter sent out. Good morning, everybody who I just woke up with Twitter. Yay! Because, apparently I wake Cori up like all the time with either Twitter or Facebook.
Indeed, she does. She does wake me up quite often. Ding. See that? You heard that sound? Ding. That's what I hear. Ding. If I'd only known that sound was the key to waking me up and me not being angry, because we have that one alarm I have that makes me angry. Yeah, we don't want that.
I don't know what that one alarm was that was going off right before the show. That thing would die a horrible death.
Well, that's not the one that makes me angry. There's one I have that if I hear it, I'm waking up, I'm mad as soon as I hear it. I'm like, oh God. Ugh. Yeah. So much interesting things going on over the weekend, by the way, you lovely people out there.
Was there? What was interesting that I missed? Besides, the whole...
SimCity-ocalypse?
SimCity-ocalypse. There we go. I was trying to think of what we were calling it. But yeah, the SimCity-ocalypse. A friend of mine was actually streaming that on Twitch. I was like, really? This is the most boring Twitch stream ever.
Well, you can't... That's one of those games you have to already be a fan. You can't show those games to people. They have to have already played it. And they have to play it themselves because it's a simulator. There's so much in it, there's no possible way you can show it while streaming. It's the same with The Sims. I had contemplated at one point saying, I should turn on my Sims and then stream it, but I would actually have to narrate what was going on or come up with a story or something that you'd want to watch, because otherwise it is boring if you're not the one playing. That's not a game you play.
So boring. I was like, really? This is not even cute. This is...
You have to be there to be able to interact with the game, or at least be sitting beside the person playing so that you can interact. And that's how you play simulators with two people. Because when my cousin is over, we have two things going on. She's either beside me in the chair and she has her Sims on, and then we'll talk back and forth. And I'll be like, "Hey, no, put that there," or "What's wrong with your Sim? Do you see that one over there?" That type of stuff to interact. But you can't. I don't think that works on stream. Anybody like to watch Sims on Twitch? Watch somebody else play? Because
because that'd be like just about the same thing as streaming Second Life, and I can't imagine that being very interesting.
Even unless you're playing.
Unless you're playing. And unless you know the people who you're watching and you kind of understand the because it's like watching a soap opera. You jump in the middle, you've never seen it, never heard of it before, and you have no idea the storylines.
Well, it's not
no
even a
idea
story.
the backstory.
It's not even a story. It's not even a story. You hit the nail on the head. If you came into Second Life and you saw somebody just playing, unless you knew them and you knew maybe they were in a sim that had role play, and you could hear what they were saying or read what was being typed, because in most cases on Twitch you can't see because it doesn't actually allow you to zoom in very much.
Yeah.
You'll be bored out of your mind watching. You have to know what's going on. I don't see where that will be fun. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
No streaming the SimCity unless you're about to rain destruction down upon your city, which would be fun. You dropping fireballs from the sky.
Oh God, yeah. That would be fun. That would be fun. But the rest of it is kind of like, no. Great. So your Sims are talking. Your Sims are going and doing this.
No.
If I wanted to people watch, I would go people watch.
No, part of the fun of playing The Sims, it is strictly a single player game, is that you are involved with your Sims and you're coming up with your story. But again, unless you're going to narrate what's going on while they're watching, there's no point in streaming it. And for the most part, you probably get about 5 minutes of narration out of me before I start building a house, and that's pretty much what I do. You'd be like, "Oh, okay, this story's getting good," and they'll be like, "Oh, wait a minute, there's a plant. Pause. That plant. It needs a tissue box there. Oh, it needs some crayons there. Oh, they need a corkboard in their kitchen. Oh, wait, let me hang this. They need some magnets on the refrigerator. Let me do this." And the next thing you know, 3 hours later, you're like, "I'm so tired of watching you do this."
I have thought about streaming, like when I'm making clothes, to kind of do like to watch, learn kind of thing.
If you narrate, yes, but just to watch you, nobody knows what the hell's going on.
They would hear me cussing up a storm half the time. Oh gosh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh no, delete that whole layer.
I got yelled at Friday night when I was trying to do something with the bed, and I yelled out, "Beep!" Baby Nick, she's like, "Mom, I'm right here."
So it's like you don't get it.
So we've instituted the cuss words from the Orbitz commercials. Have you ever seen those?
I don't watch TV, so no.
You gotta watch TV. I'm gonna segue into something else here, bring it back to games, but we the Orbitz commercials usually have the commercials they call dirty mouth, so they can't actually curse, so they say other things. Like there's one where the girlfriend walks in on her boyfriend with another girl. And the girl's like, "You cootie queen." Says, "Who are you calling cootie queen? You lit liquor." So,
oh my God! Wow, lint liquor cootie queen.
Yes, it's like dirty mouth, clean it up. So,
well, I'm totally gonna steal these. These are gonna be like my new.
Oh, lit liquor, favorite. Lit liquor, yeah. So.
Next time I get into the flame war inside World of Warcraft, I'm so calling somebody a lint liquor.
Now I do have to give. I want to say Activision. It's not Activision. I saw the new Lara Croft trailer. Awesome, guys. The launch trailer.
New one? Is there a different one that I haven't seen yet?
Yes, and I tried to find it this morning, and I could not find it. I saw it during The Walking Dead because Walking Dead somehow has become the official nerd comic gamer advertisement show. So during The Walking Dead, I see all of the game trailers when they're just released. So the new one was absolutely awesome. I like the voiceover, and it's like, "I'm Lara Croft. Everybody has a story." And then they start showing pieces from the game, and she's shooting, and they keep flashing the words, "A survivor is born." Lovely. Finally, thank you.
Wow. I'm gonna have to look for that because I love the Lara Croft trailers. They're just.
They have been awesome.
Empowering. They're beautiful.
Well, I didn't like the one with the guy song, but this one was awesome. I actually sat up on the edge of my seat and went, "That's right nice. I feel like going out and shooting some monsters. Let me go outside and find some."
Wow. What?
Yeah. Well, I got an update.
Okay.
from Miss Lucy Bradshaw about the SimCity Apocalypse because that's where we started off before we segued. Yeah,
Oh, will
Monday
you
night.
do that while I scream about my headphones being a piece of crap?
All right, Lucy Bradshaw from over at Maxis released a statement this morning. Thank you, Lucy, for sending this over to us. Actually, the people from the UK sent this over to us, and she says she's very happy to report that the core problem with getting in and having a great SimCity experience is almost behind them. She says players have been able to connect to their cities in the game for nearly 8 million hours of gameplay time, and they've managed to reduce the game crashes by 92% from day one. She says a combination of optimizing the server architecture and response times, deploying enhancements on both a series of new and original servers, and issuing a few critical client updates has gotten virtually everyone into the game and having a great time building and sharing their regions. Yay.
Yeah, I'm still hearing a lot of crap. A lot of people are still mad.
Right?
So mad. I mean, demanding refunds, which they're all like, giving you
Yes,
back
as
your
well.
money. You were stupid enough to give it to us.
They should be. She said she had hoping to issue an all clear, but she says there are some elements coming together tonight and tomorrow. She said they'll be monitoring each server and gameplay metrics to ensure that the servers remain strong and the game is playing great. She says they need a few more days of data before they can assure you that the problem is completely solved and the game is running at 100%. But the good news is that tens of thousands of new players are streaming into the game every day, and the confidence that their fans have shown is truly humbling. She says she can't begin to explain the way a development team feels when something that you're proud of is threatened at launch. Yes, we get that. She says our biggest fear was that people who love this franchise would be scared off by bad reviews about connectivity issues. I'm not getting it until I know you're done with it because I'm not one that, But she says you all put your faith in them. You bought the game with the understanding that they'd quickly fix the server issues, and for that support, the incredible commitment from you, the fans, they are deeply grateful. And she says, as general manager of Maxis, she wants you to know that they cherish your faith and the love you've shown for the franchise. Thank you very, and she underlined very much.
Well, I've got a simple, easy solution for this whole issue. Don't release a game that's not ready. Don't release a game that doesn't have enough servers for everybody. Don't release a game with this many flippin' bugs. This is ridiculous. And so many of these companies are doing it nowadays. And people, gamers, everybody, we are feeding this trend because we are allowing them to do it. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So people stop buying their games. If you don't want a crappy game, if you want to force them to give you something that actually works and is worth your money, then force them to give it to you, because otherwise they're going to continue this trend of releasing games that are not ready, and this is ridiculous. I don't want to spend, 40, $50 on a game that I can't flip and play. Oh, God, more and I can't cuss.
I can't. On one hand, okay, we told you guys Prison Architect. Obviously, it's an alpha. Obviously, you're helping test it, but they let you know that you're helping test it, and it's actually an alpha. They are releasing updates. If you watch the little intro trailer, they say you're playing a game in alpha. Most of the features are not going to work, and they even show you some of the bugs that they've had. This here introversion is what they're a 4-man team or something like that. Mm-hmm. Introversion software. So I expect that they are not going to be as quick in getting things done or as polished right off. But when they do make a game, I'm telling you, it's brilliant. When they're finished with it, it's brilliant. I never had any bugs or anything wrong with my uplink. I can't tell you I had a problem. I really can't. I don't remember having one ever. So they make good stuff. They're slow as all get out, but again, it's only 4 of them. Whereas Maxis, you have a company behind you. There was no reason for this to happen. 1, because you have a company behind you. 2, pull a rock star. You know what? We're not going to release SimCity. It's not ready. The players will be irritated, but this here irritation where I bought it and it's supposed to be out and it's not working is much worse than the irritation of now you have to wait a couple of more weeks because we just want to make sure everything's good. So I don't understand this at all, especially with the game this big. This is on par with a Call of Duty, a Battlefield. This is SimCity. 10 years. These people waited, myself included, to be able to play, and then when we get it, you can't play. I'm not buying it till it dies down. And I had a friend that told me, he's like, well, I was able to get in and play for several hours. You know what the problem with that sentence is? I was able to get in to play for a couple of hours, as opposed to, yeah, well, I got to play and it's fine. Or, I want it to be okay when I get in there. I don't want any drama. I can't. Ugh, ugh.
Yeah, this is
Just
not. I don't know.
beta test longer next time, people.
And stop charging us to beta test, because that's what this amounts to, is that they are charging you to beta test their games. And
It's not even closed beta. Like I said, introversion is doing the same thing. So, but I guess the difference is they let you know it's not working. They didn't say anything. They just kind of, and that's I think the problem with the bigger companies. They don't tell you when you're in beta, this game is not going to work. You're helping us test features. Tell us what's wrong. And as I said last week, some of you didn't. You were so busy being angry. It's broken. I'm gonna need
Yeah.
some aspirin.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I forgot. Oh, did I close it? Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, I meant to do this top of the show. I'm going to tweet something out to you guys from a company across the pond, from our boys across the pond.
You got me a
Continue Mag.
link?
I'm going to have a link for you. I'm going to give it to Ginger. This is an embed code, isn't it? No, it's a shortened thing. Okay, I'm going to give it to Ginger so she can tweet. And then I'm going to pop it into our Twitter. This is a new company over in the UK called Continue Mag. They have a Kickstarter campaign. And I told them I'd send them some love this morning. So go and check out their magazine, or not their magazine, but go and give them some money. They want some money.
Yeah.
10
days ago, 145 backers. They've raised 3,576 pounds, or is that euros? I'm getting confused.
That keeps me confused. But it looks very nice. We don't have very many magazines left, gaming magazines.
Well, that's because by the time they get to print and they hit the shelves, it's been all over the interwebs for like weeks.
You are absolutely
they just can't keep up. I mean, even if they had an app where they offered it on your phone, maybe, then maybe. But they'd have to offer me something that all these other websites where I can get the news for free aren't offering me, you know? Like I've seen, I'm not going to name the website because I'm boycotting them. Them and I have a very hate relationship. Used to. No, not name them. But me and a website used to, have good relations. If you signed up for their website where you got gaming news, you also got, well, at the time you got magazines or you got t-shirts and stuff like that, which wasn't offered anywhere else. And that was cool. So that's what I'm saying. If you had an app where you got the news to me immediately, just like these other websites did, but you offered me some kind of bonus. I got trinkets or swag of some sort in the mail every once in a while. I would so totally sign up for that,
Well, that's why I stayed with my City of Heroes for as long as I did, because I used to get a comic book every month.
Exactly.
Y'all don't give me nothing now. Anyway, continuemag.com. I don't know what these guys are doing, but they ask me so nicely, and we do love us some UK folk. I don't know why we love you all so much, but...
It's the accent. It's the accent. I know what it is.
It is. I can't lie. It is. Yeah, we love your accent.
You guys start talking, and we're like... Yeah. All right, so I have to talk about this app. Spring is coming. Everybody is getting, or at least, should be trying to get into bathing
early
suit.
Allergies.
Yeah, early allergies, yeah. That's true. Bathing suit weather. So everybody's trying to get into shape, So there's this cool little app. If you have an iPhone, it's called Everybody Walks. I found it over in the Yahoo Tech section. And anyways, Everybody Walk leads iPhone apps of the week. Anyways, this is one of the top apps on the Apple Store right now. It's a super pedometer that not only tracks distance and time, but maps your routes. Not for too sure I like this idea. Other apps include an app to touch up your Facebook. Hold on. Everybody Walk tracks your exercise progress like the best pedometer you've ever had. And it keeps track of distance, time, calories burned, and even routes you've taken. Users can create goals for distance, time, and calories burned so they have something to shoot for as they walk. Walking routines can also be viewed on a map, and a summary of the entire walk can be shared on social networks like Facebook and Twitter. Okay. I like this app. sort of, because maybe it can get you and your friends together to go do walks. On the other hand, good God, I can't talk this morning. I'm so cold. Y'all have no idea how cold it is. On the other hand, you've just mapped where you've been, and I'm going to assume since you did this walk in this one area, you probably do this walk fairly regularly. People like to do this kind of thing on a schedule, and you're putting it out there on the internet, social networks, where everybody can see, including the bad guys. And you've just told them when you go walk, and where you go walk, and where they can find you at,
Yeah.
a certain date and time. You just set yourself up for bad things to happen. Bad things to happen, because most people I know on Facebook and Twitter do not know how to hide their feeds, do not know how to hide their page, and friend all sorts of freaks. So, when bad things happen, just remember, Ginger told you, don't do that. Stop being stupid.
That reminds me, there was a post one of our friends put up last week that I was supposed to share with you, and it keeps slipping my mind about how to make sure you protect your friends and yourself on Facebook. And if I can find it, I'll be glad to share it with you. If not, you'll have to look on our page.
Because I have to have this discussion with people, my family mostly, at least once a week, when they start tagging me in photos and stuff, and especially because they want to follow other pages they shouldn't. Like I try to discourage them from following me, Ginger Rocks, on Facebook, because I've got my real one, and
Yeah.
don't follow my Ginger Rocks. I will tell you what's going on. I'll keep you up to date, I promise, because I don't want people stalking my family, and then once they start posting me in pictures of where I'm at, and it's because they like to do that. It's like, would you stop doing that? I don't want people to know where I'm at, where I live, what I'm doing. There's a darn good reason why I don't talk. I mean, I talk about my life, but I don't talk about where I'm at or what I'm doing. None of that.
You learned that lesson the hard way.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And my mom's all like, "Oh, you really think people will stalk you?" Yes, I do.
Yes.
Stop.
See, that's the same question you asked me when you started doing this. I was like, Ginger, stop telling them people your personal information. Oh, it's fine, Corey. I was like,
I have learned. Some of y'all are just crazy. Crazy. Just for those crazies out there listening, I do carry a knife and I do have guns.
And I have gum.
And I have a pit bull, so...
Look, and I have gum, and I will stick it in your hair.
Yeah. If pit bulls don't get you, I'll set the goats loose on you.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, but seriously, it's... This is... I like the idea behind this. I do not like the map part of it. You are asking to be stalked. You're asking... especially if you're a woman, a single woman, or hell, even if you're just a woman who goes walking by yourself, a lot of times you're doing it early in the morning or late at night. And if you're like me, you like to go walk in these parks, and they're beautiful. Oh, they're beautiful. But I wouldn't want people to know what part of the park is the most secluded to catch me in, That would not...
Oh, man.
Yeah, just so you know, anybody, I will stab you repeatedly.
And like it.
Yeah, I'll be smiling the entire time.
Okay.
I will not be calling 911 after, so...
Oh, I'll call 911 while I have my foot on your neck. No, you have to call 911,
Mm-mm.
You have to, Ginger. You have to.
I will claim PTSD.
I won't. I'll be like, he was stalking me. He had it coming.
All right, fine. I will call 911 after I've seen you stop breathing. Because, then it's going to take about 10 minutes for them to get there, so...
I'm going to sing,
Gives me a pretty
You
good
Had It
window.
Coming from Chicago with my foot on your neck. That's what I'm going to sing. You had it coming. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to hum that wild side call.
Twisted chicks.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what. I have no idea what you're speaking about. All right. Lots of juicy news.
What you got? You ain't got nothing.
Well, my favorite is over across the big pond at Game Horizon. I love you, Will Wright. SimCity creator Will Wright will be taking part in a live Q&A session at this year's Game Horizon conference. He's going to be fielding select questions from the audience. All of you who have already purchased a ticket for the Newcastle event will be invited to submit a question to the acclaimed game designer and visionary who will be joining the event via a live video link. I'm not going if he ain't actually there. What's the point? Live video link? I can't sit in his lap. Okay, so Wright created SimCity to critical and commercial acclaim in the late 80s, before going on to release The Sims in 2000. The game has sold over 58 million units in the PC market, establishing, or back then, 2000, establishing the title as a cultural phenomenon. Game Horizon has also added massive entertainment's David Poltfelt to the opening keynote, joining Ubisoft Reflections' Jacquet. Pauline Jacquet? Is that how you say her name? She's also going to be on stage to discuss the fearless creation of the $1 million game. Tickets are on sale right now for Game Horizon 2013 with a lineup of speakers that already includes senior representatives from Paradox, our favorite game publishers, Bossa Studios, GameStick, and Fireproof Studios. The majority of the session will be streamed live on GI International, our other favorite buddies over there, and the second keynote is due to be announced shortly. The event is taking place May 8th and is sponsored by Epic Games and CCP Audio Motion, and C now, and C is spelled with 2 I's. That's exciting. Did you ever hear how he came up with The Sims? It is amazing how game design works. If you don't know, let me give you a little quick rundown before we go to the next story. Will Wright came up with The Sims because he was really into architecture. And he wanted to make a game about architecture. And he started building these houses. And he says, well, the player has to have a way to rate the house. You know, how do you rate that this is a good house? He says, well, I'll create these little people that'll rate the house. And then in creating the people, bam, The Sims was born. Because The Sims tell you whether or not they like what they live in, or if they like
that is kind of cool.
That's how he came up with The Sims. Amazing. When you're trying to do one thing, something else entirely. So I love that man. I just want to sit in his lap. And he got this picture of him where he's looking all, you know, he's got his hair cut all short and he's looking all hot, little jacket on. I love you,
Will. She wants to lick on you, Will.
I told him that when he was at a conference. I was like, you tell him when I come back I'm sitting in his lap, and he says, well, tell him. And when I came back again, he's like, he's waiting. He said, that's fine. I was like, but I had to go. I didn't get back. Man, I regret that. Next weekend, I am catching him.
Yeah. Well, apparently this is going to be the all EA, all SimCity show today. Because
more
news
juice?
everywhere. People are mad.
They are mad?
So mad. All right, so, like I said earlier today, no Origin refunds, and there is a petition to end always-on DRM. Pulling this from GamePolitics.com. All right, so from EA's official Twitter for digital distribution service Origin, they have confirmed that you will not be banned if you ask for a refund on your purchase of SimCity. The bad news is that you're more than likely not going to get that refund. Regarding recent confusion, in general, we do not offer refunds on digital download games. Please review our policy. Well, you can sign a petition over at change.org if you don't like this, that EA asks EA to remove SimCity's always-on DRM and discontinue its use for all future games. AF and min. From the petition, when I and millions of other people buy a game that has a single-player experience, we expect it to work regardless of our connectivity to the internet or quality of our connection. EA has made this impossible. So many people with an unstable connection will not even be able to play the game in the first place, let alone anyone who wants to play on the go with no internet connection. Right now, as of the writing, it had 22,700 signatures. I'm going to look right now and tell you how many signatures it has now, because I'm sure that number has skyrocketed. They have 60,629 signatures now.
You done it.
You have done ticked some people off. Corey told you, man, you don't mess with the Simmers. You do not at all mess with the Simmers. Because those people
cut you.
Yeah.
They will cut quickness. I mean, that is no hesitation. I did warn them. They were warned.
And since that one is kind of short and we are the all EA, all SimCity show, no, not really, folks, but, you know, I'm trying to get them all out of the way so I can move on to other news. Max's general manager says, yeah, all right, the low scores are fair. Yeah, Max's general manager, Lucy Bradshaw, acknowledges... Yeah, and an internal memo that somehow Polygon got their little greedy hands on, that readjusted review scores and lower review scores coming in every day is fair. Bradshaw admitted that since SimCity is an online game and the game is having trouble providing the service it promises, it is not surprising that it's getting the bad reviews. She says, I'd like to say that it's not fair, that the game score shouldn't be punished for a server problem. But it is fair. SimCity is an online game, and critics and consumers have every right to expect a smooth experience from beginning to end. I and the Maxis team take full responsibility to deliver on our promise. So what are you going to do, chick? Make it work. Come on. Bradshaw reemphasized that what EA and Maxis had been saying since launch, that Maxis is working 24/7 to deliver on our promise. To that end, the company added 3 more servers, only 3, to the game, and shut down some services, like leaderboards, achievements, and the fastest speed setting. Wow, that's going to tick some people off. Last night, in the hopes of alleviating some of the problems gamers are facing, EA also raised the hackles of Asian players when it said that it would not launch any Asia due to concerns over rampant piracy.
Oh, come on, EA.
So you're saying all Asians on the Asian servers.
But wait. Now they're really going to pirate it because they can't get a legitimate copy. How smart is that?
No kidding. Wow. But that is such crap, because you're saying, everybody in Asia is pirates, so nobody gets it. Nobody. That's just not right. That's some stupidity right there. Bad on you. Bad. Of course,
bad.
Yeah. We told you Friday that Amazon has temporarily stopped selling the digital version of the game. It's apparently stopped fulfilling orders for the retail version as well. Hundreds of one-star customer reviews on the Amazon site had a lot to do with that decision. EA also said that it would not be offering refunds to customers for the game, despite earlier comments from an Origin community manager that it would. No, because if they started offering refunds, they would have no money for this game. None whatsoever, because 60,000 signatures, those are just the 60,000 who have signed. There's about 3 times that amount that are just irritated and don't know where to go sign. And they would love to have a refund. You know it.
I can't wrap my head around this. Whose bright idea was it to say we're not opening Asian servers? Because they're pirating. And then they're going to pirate.
I don't know.
Now they're going to pirate stuff. Now you're not going to get any money out of these people, and all of them are going to be pirated. They're going to be the ones to do it.
Yep. Can I go for a triple? I'm just going to knock the last one out.
Do it, a triple-double, do it.
All right, so EA Maxis is furiously working on SimCity, and towards that goal, they're also offering free game to customers.
What?
EA Maxis General Manager Lucy Bradshaw. Hey, Lucy. Took to EA's blog for 3 updates over the weekend to talk about the progress of the company, or what progress the company has made in making SimCity a bit more stable for players. In her first update on March 8th, Bradshaw said that they had increased server capacity by 120%, 3 whole servers, and that had helped to alleviate some of the issues and play the game. She also said that the number of disrupted experiences had dropped by 80%. Also, on that note, Bradshaw offered an olive branch to those gamers who bought the game and suffered through all of the connection and disconnection problems. She offers a free game. And to get us back in your good graces, we're going to offer you a free PC download game from the EA portfolio on March 18th. 7 days from now, SimCity players who have activated their game will receive an email telling them how to redeem their free game. I know that's a little contrived, kind of like buying a present for a friend after you did something crummy, but we feel bad about what happened. We're hoping you won't stay mad and that we'll be friends again when SimCity is running at 100%. Wow.
Hey,
all
Joe.
Right.
Hey, look. Hey, Joe. Want to go halvesies on a game?
I know, right? They're not telling us what game they're offering, though, and that kind of irritates me. You know what I would like? I would like for everybody who's had an issue and has reported it to have a free one-time coupon for the next DLC for this. That's what I would like to see.
I think they've put out most of the DLC that they're going to put out for it. They don't generally do a whole lot of DLC for SimCity because there's not much else you can add. I mean, we have a superhero. The only thing I don't know if they covered it in this one. You have already built cities, the major cities like we had, New York, Houston, LA.
Do you have Godzilla yet?
That's a good idea, actually, but I don't know if they have it.
See? Ginger is full of good ideas. They should have an add-on that gives you Godzilla and Mothra and that kind of stuff to destroy the towns with.
You got to try to bring them down. King Kong.
Yes. Oh my God. That I like that. I like that. See, EA. I totally came up with the idea. I expect some money.
No, they're not gonna give me any money because they stole my pregnancy idea.
And I know they shout out Or I expect you to
Nothing.
hire me in a couple of years when I'm done with my school. Just saying.
Nothing. You don't know, girl. You don't want to work for EA. That's the one company you don't want to work for. Microsoft, they're crazy, but they take good care of their peoples. That's who you want to work for.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Well, you know
Always.
what? I'll make my own Sim City with hookers and blackjack and you know
Well,
what? Just screw the Sim
that's
City.
GTA. Look, that's GTA, so it's perfect.
Exactly. Exactly.
No, actually, it's not, but that would be interesting.
APB, I like to run over the hookers. Actually, they don't say necessarily that they're hookers, but you know that's what they are.
It's implied hookerdom. They speak hookerese. Look, we can go along with this all morning. They speak hookerese.
Well, you know, because they had the whole little walk as they're walking, and they got their little mini skirts on, they got their little clutch, and they got the like 6-inch stilettos, and yeah, they've got that whole walk as they're walking around the corner area, and it's like, yeah, that's exactly what you are. You're a hooker. I'm gonna run you over.
Ginger.
And they stop and they pose, and I'm like, oh yeah, flattened hooker.
I like the one that said, "Oh God, no, please."
I was like the ones. Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am?
I tell you who I am. I'm the chick you never want to see again. Bam.
It's hard to talk about APB because, man, when I play APB, if any of y'all have watched me Twitch, that I'm cussing the entire time. I'm on bleep. You know who I am?
All right, Majesco. Oh, wait a minute. I got another story before I do Majesco. Okay, Telewa Games and Teal Studios have released a new game called Mechanical on iOS. This is a 2D side-scrolling puzzler that I forgot to give Ginger the link for the trailer so she could show it to you while I was talking.
I know. I was all like, where's the trailer?
Where the trailer? Where the trailer be? I'm all looking for you in the wrong window and stuff. Thanks, GLaDOS. Okay, so blame her. All right, and you can also go and check this out on GameAndAtrix.com if you're not listening. 2D side-scrolling, blends puzzles, exploration, deep atmosphere. It's supposed to create a completely immersive experience. Was released for PC late last year. Feedback from fans and critics following the PC release, they said, was great. This is from Mark Permanto. Good God, start calling you Smith. He says the game begins with a twist of fate, splitting you away from through a network of coiled pipes into a mysterious underworld. And you find yourself in a strange environment that pulsates for mechanic and organic machinery alike, and your journey to freedom begins. You can fly freely through the odd and fantastic surroundings. A powerful tractor beam lets you pick up objects and interact with the world. And so on and so forth. Again, this is available currently only on iOS. I don't know why they didn't give it to us on Droid.
I would totally play this if this were on Droid.
I know I would.
It's so cute. Oh my God, it's so adorable.
Yeah, and again, 2.5D side scroller. I like that they've come up with a way to call this a 2.5D. You know what I would like to see somebody release? I'm going to say it. The company that made the game Flashback, you all should re-release that game for mobile phones. I think there would be some people that would be in love with it, and I think a mobile phone could handle it. An RPG that you can pick up and put down, you save it and you come back to it later. And Flashback had such a good storyline, a really good story, and it's futuristic, so a lot of the things in there wouldn't be outdated. You could reintroduce it completely, and it would be perfect. Flashback. You don't know what Flashback is? Go look it up on Wikipedia. Anyway,
I do not know. I'm gonna have to look. God, this is just. He's so adorable. He's so cute. I just want to play him.
Find this at Talawa Games. And then I want to let you all know that your fingers have been patented by Google.
What?
I knew Ginger was not going to like that.
Those are my fingers.
According to VentureBeat, when you're holding your mobile phone in one hand, you generally have a thumb on the front for scrolling, typing, and tapping, and 4 fingers clamped.
No, I got short fingers and nails. It doesn't work.
Well, I can't.
If I try to scroll with my thumb, I end up pressing stuff I don't mean to, so I don't know.
I usually lay my phone in my left hand and then do what I need to do with the right. So I don't, but I'm unusual, as we all know. Okay, so anyway, they said you usually have your 4 fingers clamped uselessly around the edge. A patent bolt saw Google has applied for a patent on touch controls built into the back side of future Droid-based phones and tablets, which means that you could turn the book of an ebook, flip the next song, or pause the video just by tapping or swiping the back of your device. That is unused space. I got to give them credit. That all sounds very simple, but the challenge lies in distinguishing between normal just holding your phone or when you're trying to control it. Google's technology will apparently ignore spurious contact and only react to intentional, sustained contact. Ars Technica has noted that Apple also filed a patent for touch controls on the back of a device back in 2006. In Apple's case, the device in question is an iPad, but no shipping device using this technology has yet seen the light of day. So we'll see what's going to go on, because you know those two are going to go at it head to head. Google's done it,
Yeah.
Apple's going to want to do it. So I don't know if I like this idea. Is it going to have a screen on the back? Because I don't need nobody seeing what I'm looking at on my phone. Sometimes, you know, I might be looking at some gamer porn, and I don't really need to.
Cori has gamer porn.
Indeed, I do.
All right, so
Pictures of Link and nothing but his tunic.
Hotness. All right, so pulling this next one from GamePolitics.com, mainly because this game is amazing. CDC asks Plague Inc. maker to give a lecture in March. Polygon did a interview with Plague Inc. developer James Vaughn, who reveals to the publication that he has been asked to speak to the Center for Disease Control in Atlanta, Georgia. Plague Inc. is a unique strategy game for iOS, also for Android, that lets you play, the player, who wrote this? You're fired. That lets the player take control of a deadly pathogen and infect one person, patient 0, with the end goal being to spread the plague to every corner of the globe. Vaughn also says that
I think I played this game, and I thought it was further boring. What's the name of it?
Plague Inc.
Yeah, I have played that. It's not as exciting as you.
Really? I played it. I think it's cool.
You played it?
Yeah, I think it's kind of awesome.
I didn't like it. I got bored.
Dude, I get to kill people with the plague. It's awesome.
Yeah, but after a while, I had killed everybody like in 45 minutes. My plague had spread. I've pretty much, you know what?
But then you make a new plague and you do it again. It's fun.
I couldn't. It was no fun. I figured it out too quick.
Well, see, they don't
Go
really
ahead, talk
work,
about
which is kind of cool.
Go ahead.
Vaughn says that the CDC reached out to him because they were all playing his game and were fascinated by it. While Vaughn acknowledges that his game is not a precise simulation of how infectious diseases spread, he did do his best to make the game as scientifically plausible as possible. Vaughn has no medical background and made the iOS game as a hobby. As for what the CDC wants him to talk about, he says they're interested in how the plague is spread. They're also very keen on how games like Plague Inc. can be used to inform the public about health issues and raise public awareness of these issues. Vaughn will speak at the CDC a week before the Game Developers Conference, but his presentation will not be open to the public, which is a shame because I really think that'd be really kind of cool and neat. You can learn more about the game over at ndemicreations.com. I will tweet that out because, oh my god, what a weird name. Like I said, it is available also on the Android, so it's iOS and Android. I want to say it's free. And
it is.
People.
It is free. It is free.
Yeah, and killing people, you know.
I was bored out of my mind.
Plague, man, how awesome is that?
I picked out a plague, and mine was This is where the medical background makes probably why I didn't have as much fun. As soon as I saw that he had based it off of real medical terminology, I said, okay, this one's airborne, and it also causes you to hemorrhage or something, hemorrhage from the mouth or bleed or cry or something, whatever they had.
Yeah.
And there was one other thing where you couldn't eat. So pretty much I had my plague was worldwide like in less than 45 real minutes. And I was like, okay, that was too easy. Then after that, it was just doing stuff just to be mean. It's spread from the touch of animals. If you eat meat, you'll get worms, all kind of stuff. And I was like, I'm bored. I'm going to need you to make it a little harder. I need you to, have me maybe put cells together or something. These particular cells do something.
That would be kind of neat. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was quite bored. I'm not saying it's a bad game, but it was a little too easy for me to kill my people. Actually,
it was the other half you showed it to me. And of course, he was having fun giving the disease like all kinds of inappropriate names. So you would have died from such and such, which I can't repeat here. And it's every time he was just over there cackling. He thought it was hilarious. I was like, what are you playing? So I had to check it out. I liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. But then again, killing people. So, hey.
Have you? There's a fun game that nobody knows about, but everybody plays. Have you played? I think it's called Elements or something like that. I might be calling it the wrong name. Anybody know the game I'm talking about? You start with four elements, and you have to keep creating new things out of the elements. You put fire and water together, you get steam. Then you put the fire and the rock together, and with the water, and then you come up with a this steam engine, something like that. But you keep doing it.
No.
Yeah, that one's
No.
on Droid and it's on iPhone. For the longest time,
That could
Baby
be
Natrix
fun.
and I were having a fight to see who could come up with the most elements. Like you, and eventually you get something like you get man, woman, and we put them together, baby. so,
Oh
so you,
wow.
so, and then you put man and grave together, zombie. It's just cool
Oh.
stuff. I'm giving
Oh,
away the
that
game.
sounds cool.
It's fun, but ours is like a quick thing because it is a drag and drop. You have to drag these things together. So we're
Yeah.
sitting there methodically going through and dragging the elements together. Ah, I got diamonds. How'd you get diamonds? I'm not telling you.
That would be fun. That's kind of cute.
So that's a good one to play. But nobody ever talks about that game. Good game.
Yeah.
All right, I got one that I just they didn't get. Why do they do that? I hate when they send over stuff and they just send a trailer. How does that help me tell people about your game there,
It
Capcom?
doesn't. It doesn't.
Capcom, really? Thanks for sending this over, but I can't do anything with just a trailer. People need they need some info. All right, then I'm gonna skip on to the next one. Then, Mad
What who got?
Cats.
What who got?
Mad Cats, our
Dun, dun,
favorite
dun.
creator of gaming peripherals, and my story just stopped loading. Thank you. Oh, there we go. Okay, so Mad Cats Interactive, who, okay, they did give us a trailer. See, that's how you do it. Their other company, Capcom. You're supposed to send over trailers so I can give to Ginger so she can be ready instead of us all having to try to figure it out. Okay. All right, so Mad Cats has announced today that Darren Richardson, who's the president and chief executive officer, will be participating in the
Officer?
25th officer.
That's
Will be
exciting. Of course. It's a bit early to be drinking this morning.
Benadryl, man. That's what I had. Benadryl.
Blame the Benadryl. Blame
And
the Benadryl.
is the Benadryl.
We know.
And
We
he's
know.
participating in the 25th annual Roth conference, going to be held at the Ritz-Carlton Laguna Niguel in Dana Point, California, on Wednesday, March the 20th. Mr. Richardson will be hosting a formal presentation and webcast that day, starting at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. Those of you who are interested in listening to the company's conference
Where are the girls?
can access the live webcast by visiting
Oh, hey,
the
there the girls.
Investor Relations section of Mad Cat's website at madcats.com. That's cats with a Z, not an S. Management will also be hosting one-on-one meetings with institutional investors to discuss the company's financial performance and growth opportunities. If you wish to arrange a meeting yourself, you can go up to their website and ask them. I'm not giving you any of their information because I don't know if they want me to tell you.
I want that keyboard.
Of course, you know who Mad Cats is. They develop gaming things. They are also Triton accessories, Triton SciTech. They also develop flight simulation software through its internal Thunderhawk Studios, operates flight simulation centers under its SciTech brand, and publishes games under Mad Cat's brand, and distributes games and video game products for third parties, and blah, 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 blah.
Blah,
You can
blah,
check them
blah,
out
blah.
on check them out on Mad Cats Inc. on Facebook and Mad Cats Inc. on Twitter. Twitter.
All right. Seriously, some of this stuff is like all kinds of cool looking. All right, I will look away. I will look away.
I had that headset. That's the one I just broke. Mm-hmm.
You're not supposed to break these things. You know this,
Oh
right?
no, I had it. I had it for a very long time. They're very well made things, and I'm hard on headsets, as we all know. I mess up headsets, and this one actually lasts me for a few years instead of a few months. So they make good stuff. I'll tell you that much. It was worth it.
All right, Republican leaders.
Cut
What
'em.
the hell is wrong with you? IGDA's Daniel Greenberg lays into Republican leaders over WoW research comments. Apparently I
Ooh.
missed this one. Yeah. Video game developer and chair of the International Game Developers Association Anti-Censorship and Social Issues Committee, Daniel Greenberg, offers a scathing rebuke to Republicans in Congress for criticizing World of Warcraft and taxpayer dollars given to use the virtual world for research. Anyways, Greenberg specifically named Czech's House Majority Whip Eric Cantor. The hell kind of names? Goodness, what was wrong with your parents?
Smith.
Yeah, and House Speaker John Smith, pretty much. Though he notes other Republicans followed suit in the dust up before the question automatically kicked in earlier this month. Anyways, he points out that their attacks were based on facts that were just plain wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So don't you mean falsifications? Anyways, the facts lay out a very different version of reality than the ones tweeted by politicians. North Carolina State University scientists found that playing World of Warcraft can improve cognitive function in older people who are having mental difficulties. That. I know, right? The study did not cost $1,200,000, but only $5,000, not a penny of which came from federal tax dollars. It was paid for by the university. It was after that $5,000 grant and the WOW study that researchers were given a grant to do further research using different games and platforms like puzzle game Boom Blocks for the Nintendo Wii. The initial research did not pay people to play World of Warcraft, as Republicans had claimed. He says that the reason Cantor and Boner mentioned video games... Boner? mentioned video games is because it is being lumped into the debate on gun violence and gun control by lawmakers looking for something to blame for school shootings in America. He also points out that vilifying a popular brand and scientific research is pretty silly because most American household have gamers in them. He went on to say, hold on, I gotta scroll. You know, we usually say never scroll, but sometimes we have to scroll. It's time for, yeah. Okay, so it's time for politicians to stop the gratuitous attacks on video games. A retraction and clarification of the falsehoods would be nice, too. No one should make video games or science funding into a partisan issue. Remember, there are millions of video game players in the U.S., and we vote. We can easily determine who supports game research and who scapegoats video games, because, you know, our cognitive functions are very strong from playing all those video games. Hot! Dude, can I sit in your lap? I just want to touch you right now. Anyways, it should also be pointed out that while Republican leaders have attacked research funded by taxpayer dollars related to video games, there are plenty of lawmakers on both sides of the aisle that have done their best to vilify video games and other media as the cause of various acts of real-world violence. Hell no, the issue is parenting. Stop blaming everything else. Start being good parents. Stop being douchebags.
A flippin' man.
Man, you make me want to slap people.
A flippin' man.
Yep.
Oh, I don't know if you were done or not, girl.
I'm done, because I can't say what else I want to say.
Yes, you can. Beep yourself.
You're twitched out? You can't be twitched out. You can't be twitched out.
Oh, you talking about Horace?
Yes.
He might be.
You're not allowed to be twitched out. You gotta be twitched in.
I don't like the way this conversation is headed.
You gotta twitch with me, baby.
I don't like where this conversation is headed at all. I'm gonna opt out on this conversation. All right.
What you got?
Majesco Entertainment. You know those little people that created that little game called Zumba? Yes.
Yeah, we all know Zumba because of the chick who's being sued right now.
Well, before that, they were pretty popular, but she just elevated. A lot of women are like, hey, if the hookers can do it, I'll go. So anyway, Majesco Entertainment. Majesco Entertainment has been threatened with delisting by NASDAQ after failing to comply with the stock market's requirements. The NASDAQ requires that all stocks maintain a minimum bid price of $1 per share for 30 consecutive days. However, Majesco's stock dipped below $1 on January 14th and has shown no signs of recovery. According to GI.biz, Majesco now has 180 days, or at least until August 28th of this year, to reach a closing bid price of $1 for one consecutive business day. If it fails to do so, and it is not eligible for a further 180-day grace period, Majesco stock will be delisted by the NASDAQ. That is death to a company. Majesco did enjoy a brief period of growth thanks to the popularity of its Zumba fitness franchise. However, that popularity is fading, and the company is almost entirely reliant on Zumba products. Around 76% of its total revenue in the last financial year comes from that series. At the start of the year, Majesco tried to slim costs by closing its social game studio in Boston. That round of redundancies was immediately followed by another as a number of the company's European staff lost their jobs. Majesco has been threatened with delisting twice before, in 2007 and again in 2010.
Wow.
Yeah, get it together.
I would not have assumed they would have. I would have thought they would have had their, stuff together,
Well, Majesco comes and goes. I always think they're gone, but they somehow managed to come back. But y'all didn't ride that Zumba thing hard enough. No pun intended.
Y'all did not ride that Zumba thing hard enough.
Well, they didn't. I mean,
Ah.
okay. Let me just give them one place they should have gone. You should have gone to Weight Watchers and said, by the way, if you sign up for Weight Watchers for a 30-day membership, you get a copy of Zumba or something, or, a copy of the Zumba game for your Xbox, or we'll give you, something. I don't know. There's a million things they could have done that would have put some more money in their pocket. And then what you do is you charge them for the upgrades. Oh, there's a new song on Zumba. You might want to dance to this one. you know, that's how you get them. I'm just saying.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
And I do like Zumba. Just yeah.
I've not tried it. I'm gonna have to try it. All right, here we go. Yeah, I've not tried. Not tried it.
Girls, okay. Let me just tell you before you play. Lots of water. Make sure you're all limbered up, and make sure you have 9 and 1 dialed on your phone, and put it near you in case you fall down.
Nice, nice. All right, all right. Boom Brigade, Boom Brigade 2 takes on Windows Phone 8. Oh yes, tactical game developer 10 Tons announced today their latest Windows Phone 8 game release. Oh, this is loud. Why are you loud? I had the sound turned down and you're still loud. I'm so glad I don't have this turned up any louder. Holy crap. Alright, so anyways, Boom Brigade 2, it's available immediately in the Windows Phone store for $2.49 USD. Boom Brigade 2 is a fast-paced action strategy title. There is a free trial also available. Boom Brigade 2 is a unique hybrid of fast-paced top-down shooter action, thoughtful line drawing, and tactical strategy gaming. In the campaign game mode, featuring 30 missions, the player must defend a strategic target from an onslaught of bloodthirsty aliens. Ooh, aliens. By issuing orders to a handful of hard-as-nails troopers. I'm so glad I slowed that down because I almost read that differently. Anyways, the troopers fire their devastating weapons, miniguns, bazookas, flamethrowers, automatically as aliens enter their range of fire, allowing the player to concentrate on maneuvering the troopers to their best positions and away from danger. Moving the troopers is as simple as drawing a path and away from danger. Whoever wrote this fails because I'm having to translate this to English. Anyways, moving the troopers is as simple as drawing a path. You already told me that. Tactical mode allows the player to pause the action for detailed orders. Boom Brigade 2 is a sequel of the 2009 iTunes App Store top 10 hit iOS game Boom Brigade. Yeah, so interesting. Anyways, I have it up on GameMatrix.com this morning, I think. Maybe I do. So head over there and check that out.
All right. This is one we actually missed last week. I got to double back and grab because this is one of my favorite games of all time that I often forget about. Little game that introduced this whole stealthy genre way before there was a Metal Gear Solid, way before there was a Splinter Cell. There was Thief from Square Enix. This came out last week. They, of course, Square Enix is the minds behind Deus Ex. They unveiled Thief for PC, PlayStation 4, and other next-gen consoles. Thief is a reinvention of the franchise that helped define all this stealthy business. They said there's a rising fear in the city. Hatred saturates every stone. And whilst the rich prosper, the less fortunate face misery and repression. Ravaged with sickness and famine, they wait for something to change. Into this shadowy world steps Garrett. Yes, Garrett, who is mostly imitated by Altair from Assassin's Creed. Yeah, that's where they got him from. The master thief and first-person adventure featuring intelligent design that allows you to take full control with freedom to choose your path through the game's levels and how you approach and overcome each challenge. They said the general manager, of Eidos Montreal says we're handling a precious gemstone with Thief. Fans remember the original games very fondly, and we want to preserve that essence, which we have excellent experience in doing at Eidos Montreal, whilst introducing Thief to a brand new next-generation audience. He said our goal is to deliver the fantasy of being Garrett, the Master Thief, and we're building this game around that core experience. There's going to be some ongoing coverage this month, and we will keep you posted as well. And again, it's planned just for PC and PlayStation 4, which is very smart. Sony, keep it on your console. Lock it down quickly. Yeah. You can go over and check this game out at thiefthegame.com, and I'm pretty sure you can find some things roaming around there on the web if you want to take a look at the original game. I loved this game. I spent many hours of my life. It's one of the first games to use the I forget what it's called now, but we're so used to it now we don't even notice. But to be able to use the atmosphere with the sounds back and forth between your
Mm-hmm.
headset, they would tell you this is best played with a headset or two speakers, and they tell you how to position them. So because it was all about stealth, so you had to be able to hear who was coming from what side and things like that. And you didn't have a gun; it was bow and arrow. And you would have to be real quiet because the bow would make the noise when you pull it back. That's and then they'd be like, "Hey, I hear you." Awesome. I miss all that. So I'm glad to see it make a comeback. All right, it'd be time for us to go, Ginger.
It does. It does be time for us to go.
It'd be
It is
time.
time. It is that time. It's that time. Yay! Well, thank y'all for tuning in to Lunch with Ginger and Corey.
Yes, we'll be
Uh,
back tomorrow morning. Remember, there are no night shows this week, but we may be streaming some
that's right.
gameplay.
That's right. That's right. Yeah,
Yeah, we
yeah,
might be one or two nights this week.
yeah. Yeah.
GLaDOS don't want to love rock and roll today, so we're just gonna tell you bye and we'll see you later. Ginger, give him that kisses.
Later, boys and girls.